Unicorns back at home on this Wednesday night as we enter the month of July. Good evening, everybody. I'm Adam Plager, welcoming you to the Norwich Unicorns pregame show presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. Glad to have you with us. Wednesday night baseball and the Unicorns back at home after closing up a difficult stretch through the month of June. Norwich is 9-17 in the opening month of the season, and you look back at that month, Norwich certainly plenty of areas to grow, and we'll start first with the defense, and I think that was certainly on display Sunday afternoon at New Britain Stadium. Norwich did not play yesterday to wrap up that mini two-game series with the Bees. Torrential downpour. So there was no baseball, but certainly a lot to learn from this first month, just about those first 30 games, but that's what you want to use that first month for. Still plenty of baseball left, and first things first, it's the defense, and that has been really the Achilles heel for this group. Norwich with a league-leading 56 errors, and Sunday things did not look good defensively. 5 errors for the second time this season committed by the Norwich defense, and it seems like mistakes compounding into one another, and certainly a young group here for Norwich in 2025. A lot of risers, a lot of guys that just wrapped up high school baseball, so they're being thrown into the fire here, really getting their first taste of collegiate baseball, and right now it's a matter of trying to find a way to slow the game down. Norwich with the league high 56 errors, averaging nearly 2 errors per ball game right now, and that's a trend that certainly has to shift. Norwich trying to find a way to turn the tide of the season, and one area for growth is going to be just finding ways to simplify the game defensively. Make the play that you have and not try and do too much. We've seen that at times, trying to make a big play, which leads to more issues, more problems defensively, and then it leads to pitching problems when you're asking the pitching staff to have to find ways to get more outs defensively. Certainly some frustrations as in that area as well. Pitching staff, for the most part, it's been a bright spot for this group. You look at the starting pitching so far this summer for Norwich. They have given Norwich a chance to win every time they go out there and compete. League best as far as the starting staff goes. You feel like they're in games, and they've given this team a chance to win ball games, but the pitching staff as a whole, team ERA 5.36. That's 5th in the Futures League here this summer, but the offense, that has also been a primary area of concern. You look at the batting average, 209. That's ranked at the bottom of the Futures League, but just finding ways to simplify the approach there as well. Already 225 strikeouts as well. That's 3rd in the Futures League. So just right now, finding ways to manufacture some offense. You don't want to try and do too much, and when you try and swing for the fences, that has led to that strikeout number being where it is. You want to find ways to get going early offensively. We've seen time and time again this offense, when the bats get going, when they start heating up the way they have late in games, they can certainly create some momentum for this group. We want to see the bats get going a little bit earlier, simplify the game a little bit defensively, let the pitching staff continue to attack. They're a big part of this group. Norwich looking for a big turn here in the month of July. We'll take our first time out on the Norwich Unicorns pregame show. On the other side, we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule here in the first week of July, and we'll also hear from the skipper, Kyle Dombrowski. Stick with us. The SCR Structures and Sheds pregame show continues in just a moment.
Looking for the perfect shed? Come to SCR Structures and Sheds in North Franklin. Whether you're buying or renting to own, we've got you covered with 90 days, same as cash, and guaranteed price matching on any competitor's advertised shed of the same quality. That's scr-structures.com. That's SCR Structures and Sheds, built right, priced right here in North Franklin. scr-structures.com.
Welcome back to the Norwich Unicorns pregame show presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. Glad to have you with us. Wednesday night baseball. Yeah, it's hump day. We got baseball right here at Dodd Stadium. Beautiful Dodd Stadium. The Unicorns and the visiting Nashua Silver Knights here tonight. Norwich, quick little stay at home. Let's take a look at that upcoming schedule here as we start the first week of July. Norwich at home tonight. 6:30 first pitch as always, and then tomorrow Norwich will complete the home-at-home series with those Nashua Silver Knights. The Unicorns headed up to Holman Stadium tomorrow. First pitch coming at you 6 o'clock local time. We're doubling the fun on Friday night, July 4th. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Yeah, the Unicorns and the Worcester Bravehearts. First pitch 4 o'clock for that doubleheader, and then a spectacular fireworks show to follow the ball game. Saturday, we got Shark in the park. That's right. Jaws will be played on a projector screen following the ball game Saturday. The Unicorns, once again, they will meet with those Westfield Starfires, and then the Unicorns closing out the week with the Worcester Bravehearts Sunday. Quick turnaround, 1 o'clock. First pitch. So a huge week for Norwich. Critical week here today for the Unicorns. Need to find a way to start this month out on the right foot. Start compiling some victories together. Start that climb up the Futures League standings. You know there's plenty of potential, but right now, taking care of business. Can't look too far in advance, but some big games here this week. You want to start it out right here at home today against those Nashua Silver Knights. Starts with one. Start to feel good about yourself. Find a way to take a big second one tomorrow from Holman Stadium. All right, well, heading into the ball game here today, we spoke with the skipper, Kyle Dombrowski, on that opening month of the season. Now the group will look to turn the tide here as we enter the month of July. For more on that, here's my conversation with the skipper, Kyle Dombrowski. Joined alongside the manager of the Norwich Unicorns, Kyle Dombrowski. Dembro, well, finally back home here in the Rose City. You'll get to see Nashua here tonight, but some of your takeaways, your evaluation from the first month of the season.
Excuse me. I feel as if at times, we haven't really been able to put all three phases of the game together, both from an offensive standpoint, a defensive standpoint, and then a pitching standpoint. Some days we get a great start and then don't really have any run support behind it. So it's tough to waste those when you get them, especially when you play a clean game of defense behind it. There's some games where we come out, the bats are alive, but we, just can't feel the ground ball at times, can't feel the fly ball, whatever the case may be. At times this year so far, this past month, it's been difficult to piece all three together. But when we do have success with that. And I think the record indicates that we have had some success along the way as well. It's just a matter of coming out and playing clean baseball games, inning 1 through inning 9, and having some timely hits along the way. We've had flares of that at times. It's just a matter of having that show up a little bit more consistently now.
It seems like no matter the score, there's a no-quit mindset in this group. We've seen plenty of late rallies. What can you say about the resilience of this team?
Yeah, definitely a resilient bunch, that's for sure. You should hear these guys on the bus, too. Nobody wants to lose around a Mafia or even a game of Mafia. So very competitive and resilient bunch, that's for sure. Sometimes it takes us a little bit of a while to get the offensive going and get the bats going. But, I joked around with a couple guys when they got in for their first day. I think we were getting no hit for the first 4 or 5 innings. And, we were all pretty relaxed in here because we knew that, once the back third of the game rolled around, we were going to get it going. And, right on cue, we started scoring. I think we had a 5 spot in maybe the 7th inning or something like that. That was at some point last week. But, it's a very resilient bunch. It's just a matter of maybe capitalizing on opportunities earlier in the game so we don't have to rely on being as resilient. But it is to know that this group is made for some crunch time in the later innings.
Plenty of young guys on this team as well. Plenty of risers that just wrapped up collegiate baseball. What do you like to see from some of those guys still trying to make that transition?
Yeah, I think this league is great for a lot of those young guys to come in and face some real competition that is above the level they might be used to. Now, with that, of course, you're going to see guys probably introduced at failure at a little bit of a higher clip than they're used to as well, but that's kind of what this opportunity is for them to do is to develop and part of the process is going through and having success, having failures, and learning how to deal with both there. That way when they arrive to school in the fall, they truly are prepared for their freshman year. But, just having a really young core of guys right now allows us to come out and play very, very energetic. Sometimes it might be a little misguided at times, but, that's the job of me and the coaching staff to kind of, get the car back on the road a little bit and make sure that we're steering in the right direction. But, love having the young core of guys around.
Speaking of risers, well, pretty fitting tonight. Landon Manzi will get the baseball. What should we expect from the Killingly kid?
A lot of life on the fastball. We got Joe Durso as his battery mate tonight, so I think we're going to lean on that veteran leadership out of him as well to help Landon through the first couple frames there. And again, it's a riser facing some college level competition, so it'll be a great test for the kid. But really just excited to watch him go out there, and loved his mound presence last time he was out, and expecting more of that tonight.
He'll go up against the Nashua Silver Knights. What do we know about this Nashua team? Maybe some go-tos for the group to have some success here tonight.
Yeah, we played them pretty tight this past weekend. Ended up losing on a walk-off homer in one game. Had a pretty decisive inning in game 2 of that doubleheader up there. So, I think we know that it's going to be a back-and-forth matchup with these guys. Doesn't matter what inning it is. Doesn't matter what the score is. Like, they're going to come out and play very, very hard, and we're going to try to do the same. So it's just a matter of making sure that we take advantage of every opportunity that we have tonight, and not leave any on the table.
Last one for you, Antonio Ducatelli. What a presence he had to make his return to the Rose City, and Matt Woon. It seems like every time he's taken the baseball, he's given your team a chance to win Futures League Pitcher of the Week. What can you say about those two?
Duke's awesome. Loved having him last year. He's been right at home this year as well. It's as if he walked in right away, and there's been no time off in between the last time he was in this clubhouse. So I think his presence is huge. We're gonna miss him tonight. So shout out Duke. But having him, having Woot, having a lot of guys with some veteran presence under their belts is huge as well. Again, because you go back to having a core of risers and freshmen and sophomores there, it's huge that you have a little bit of veteran leadership and veteran presence in that clubhouse and in that lineup too.
Seahorn fans, that's the skipper, Kyle Dembrowski. Dembro, as always, thanks for the time and best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Great to hear from the manager, Kyle Dembrowski. Norwich looking to find a way to get things going here as we enter the month of July. Certainly plenty of positives to take away from that first month. Despite some of the wins and the losses, you have to like the compete level from this group. They never quit on themselves, and that's a key trait for this group. They're always finding ways to stick around in games now. Just trying to put all that together, find some ways to spot some big wins here in the month of July. All right, we're going to take another time out here on the Norwich Unicorns pregame show presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. On the other side, we're talking players of the week. Yeah, Norwich had a couple of those here. We'll talk about that and some more when we return on the Norwich Unicorns pregame show.
Looking for the perfect shed? Come to SCR Structures and Sheds in North Franklin. Whether you're buying or renting to own, we've got you covered with 90 days, same as cash, and guaranteed price matching on any competitor's advertised shed of the same quality. That's scr-structures.com. That's SCR Structures and Sheds, built right, priced right here in North Franklin. scr-structures.com.
Welcome back to the Norwich Unicorns pregame show. As always, presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. Wednesday night baseball at Dodd Stadium. Norwich in Nashua battling here tonight. We're in to the month of July, but right now, let's rewind the clocks to that final week of June for Norwich. A couple of bright spots. The Duke is back. He's claiming his royalty right now in the Rose City. Impressive start to the season for himself. Hits in 5 straight games for the Central Connecticut State product. And let's show the tape of what we're seeing from the Duke right now. He finishes that week out with a nice hit against those Nashua Silver Knights. Triple against the Lake Monsters. But it's an approach at the plate for him. He's keeping the game simple. That's a key highlight for him he's getting the hits. The numbers are electric stuff right now, but really it's such a professional approach every at-bat for the Duke. That's why he's finding some pockets, continuing to provide some pop in that Norwich batting order. Here's a look at those numbers for Antonio Ducatelli, an RBI. Couple stolen bases. He's getting it done on the base pass. He's hitting just 357 casually for himself. Triple as well. He's 5 for his last 14. He's in the midst of a 5-game hitting streak. He's back in there today for the Unicorns, commanding left field. How about to the pitcher's mound we go? Matt Wooten, yes. It's the Matt Wooten show in Nashua. Pretty fitting Norwich facing them tonight. He earned himself Futures League Pitcher of the Night, Futures League Pitcher of the Week honors. He was dominant against Nashua, put Norwich on his back in a shutout win for the Unicorns. Just electric stuff. You talk about command of the fastball. He's got such great command of that, but his secondary pitches too. I mean, no chance for this Nashua offense against him. They muster just 2 hits against Matt Wooten. Grab your popcorn, kick back, relax, because he has been putting in some work for Norwich this summer. 2-1 the record for himself. Big win in the second game of that double after a heartbreaker of a loss in the opener of that doubleheader. Joseph Zork with that walk-off home run, and Matt Wooten says, okay, now it's my turn to steal the show. 7 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts. He doesn't walk anybody, just the 2 hits. Matt Wooten, are you kidding me? He has been impressive for Norwich. Also a Norwich Unicorn Player of the Week. These two, the Duke and Matt Wooten, offensively, defensively, pitching-wise, they have been some of the leaders for this group. Going to need some more of that from them here this week as we enter the month of July. We'll take another timeout on the Norwich Unicorns pregame show. On the other side, we're got a new little segment for you, Sweet Life. CJ Nolan joining me on it. Stick with us. You don't want to miss it. The SCR Structures and Sheds pregame show continues next.
Looking for the perfect shed? Come to SCR Structures and Sheds in North Franklin. Whether you're buying or renting to own, we've got you covered with 90 days, same as cash, and guaranteed price matching on any competitor's advertised shed of the same quality. That's scr-structures.com. That's SCR Structures and Sheds, built right, priced right here in North Franklin. scr-structures.com.
Welcome back to the Norwich Unicorns pregame show, presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. Well, we got ourselves a new player spotlight feature. Let's go up to the deck upstairs, maybe a little Sweet Life on deck. You see what I'm doing right there? Yeah, a little Sweet Life with the Unicorn. CJ Nolan, the Coventry, Connecticut native, about his summer here in the Rose City. For more on that and our newest edition, Sweet Life with the Unicorns, here's my conversation with Unicorns infielder CJ Nolan. Welcome to episode 1 of Sweet Life with the Unicorns, joined alongside Norwich Unicorns infielder CJ Nolan. Well, good to have you here in Norwich. First summer for you in the Futures League. What's it been like for you, this experience?
It's been great down here with the guys in Norwich. Just trying to win some more games, make a deep run in the playoffs, and develop this summer.
You're from Coventry, Connecticut. Have you played at Dodd Stadium before coming to Norwich this summer?
I have. I played a couple high school games, some travel ball games here, so I'm familiar with the stadium. It's nice to play here every day.
It's no better spot than that. How about this luxury suite? No better spot to be in a luxury suite like this. Are you a big pool guy yourself?
Yeah, I do play a lot of pool back home with my buddies. These suites are really nice.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, you play third base here for Norwich. Are there any other positions that are secondary positions for you outside of third base?
Yeah, so this year up at Sacred Heart, I'd play short, third, second. I can also play the outfield, but next year I'm looking at third or second at school.
What's that challenge been like to play so many positions? I know it's a valuable skill to have, but, what are some of those challenges that come with that?
Yeah, as someone, I like to prepare a lot pregame, so it's definitely a tall task. And like your BP, you want to get your reps at third, then you move over to short, second. You want to make sure that you have all the plays covered, so in the game, it just feels like second nature.
Well, let's talk about some of the batting. Yeah, we were able to get into one against those Worcester Bravehearts. How much fun was it to put a swing like that on one of those baseballs and be able to clear the fence for the first time here?
No, it's definitely great. I feel like I've been scratching at the door a little bit with some of the loud contact I've had this year, and unfortunately it's been at guys or it's been caught deep, so it was nice to see one finally get over.
I know that you're a Sacred Heart guy. I know that within the Futures League there are some other Sacred Heart guys in this league. Previous seasons there's been some other Sacred Heart players. I mean, I think Norwich is a part of that pipeline. What's it like to see some of your college teammates play against them throughout the summer?
Yeah, it's definitely great and fun to play against some guys. Like tonight we play against Nashua. 2 of my teammates are on that team, so after the games, catching up with them, competing against them, it's definitely a fun time.
One last one for you, for the fans. Besides the baseball, maybe some things you enjoy to do outside the ballpark.
Definitely watch movies. I'm a big movie connoisseur. I love watching movies critically, thinking about them, stuff like that.
All right, so then I got one more for you. Let's talk about movies. Well, we're going to have Jaws play after the ball game here on Saturday. Shark in the Park, is that one of your favorites?
Yeah, Jaws is definitely up there. Great movie. My personal favorite is Shawshank Redemption. So
there we go. That's a little extra tidbit for all our Scenicorn fans. CJ, as always, thanks for doing this, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Great stuff as always. Sweet life upstairs, CJ Nolan. Great to have him on for the first edition of that. Excited to keep that going. Let's take a look at tonight's starting pitching matchup for the Scenicorns. Landon Manzi gets the baseball here tonight. The local kid out of Killingley High School, his second start of the summer. And, well, the big thing for him is going to be it's all about confidence for Landon Manzi. He's continuing to grow that confidence. A riser headed to Northeastern. And, well, we saw some of that potential. That last outing just went the 1 inning. He allowed the 1 earned run. Huge opportunity for him today, but it's about those secondary pitches, that slider, so devastating for him. That changeup, exceptional stuff with the secondary pitches. Take that deep breath for him. He's got electric stuff. He's got plus stuff everywhere. He's touched 94 on the fastball as a senior at Killingley High School. He's exceptional young talent making his way to Northeastern. That first inning, that's going to be the story for him here today. Put a 0 up on the board in that first inning. Quiet this Nashua offense. Really settle into this game. Opposite him, it'll be Nate Kelleher-Mochak. He'll make his 3rd appearance this summer against the Scenicorns. Look at the numbers here for Mochak. ERA for him on the season, 4.26. 14 Ks to the 9 walks. 1-2 record overall, but 3rd outing here this summer against Norwich. ERA stationed at 4.5. He's worked 6 innings. He's allowed 3 earned runs on 7 hits. 1-1 so far against the Scenicorns. Have to attack early against Kelleher-Mochak. Put the pressure on him early. Don't let him settle into this game. Make him feel some of that pressure early in this ballgame. Norwich looking for a big win here today. It's the youngster Landon Manzi against Nate Kelleher-Mochak. That's going to wrap things up on the Norwich Scenicorns pregame show. It's Wednesday night baseball at Dodd Stadium. The Scenicorns and the Silver Knights next. The noise is loud. But talk, that's never won a game. A swing and a miss, he struck him out. But staying on top, that's the true battle. The roster's changed, but the heart beats the same. The mission is still alive. This is well struck. It is hit deep out to left field. Good throw home. It's cut off. It's a tie game. A shot at number 3. 2-2. This is thrown to left field. It's going to win the ball game.